A cool, rainy afternoon in the Shenandoah Valley will provide the setting for this high-stakes men's soccer matchup in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. The Generals of Washington and Lee take on the Eagles of Bridgewater College in a match to stay alive for the top seed in the conference and the overall regular season championship. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Bridgewater Soccer Complex. I'm Tate Mills, and man, do we have a great matchup for the closing game of the ODAC regular season play. The winner of this game will lock up the 2 seed at worst for the ODAC postseason tournament and have a chance at the 1 seed depending on how Lynchburg fares later tonight. Who will get a key conference win here today, we will find out soon. But first, let's take a look at the history books and a weather report. Washington and Lee leads the all-time series 28-4-4. Bridgewater has struggled to beat this program, and they're going to need to do so today to lock up the number 2 overall seed. We will see. It is currently 49 degrees out there. It's cool out here in Bridgewater and has been for the past couple days. It feels like 43 due to the 7-mile-per-hour winds and 13-mile-per-hour gusts, and it's a drizzle out there. It's been drizzling pretty much off and on all day, and will continue through the rest of the match. And it might pick up towards the end. We'll have to wait and see. Looks like we're about all set to go. Bridgewater's out here on the field. Washington and Lee will take their marks soon. Go through the starting lineups first. First for the Generals, in goal is Will Joseph. And then in numeric order after that, it's Nick of Pastalou, Trey Peterson, Matthew Jenkins, Buster Kulig, Willie Hall, Spencer Furman, Ricardo Sanchez, Isaac Arrowwood, Chris Ordway, and Taha Kaba for Bridgewater, Zane Kowalski in goal. And then in numeric order, Anthony Eugenio, Arian Hammond, Will Flores, Riley Queen, Noah Deno, David Bynum, Layden Mongold, Trey Widrick, Eric Lobo, and Connor Campbell. Those are the starting lineups for today. Players look to be at the mark. And we'll go ahead and get started soon. Bridgewater will receive the ball first. And whistle is blown. We are underway. Bridgewater in white, Washington and Lee in blue. We are underway here. Bridgewater gets the ball first, and they got on the offensive side of the field. See which team will gain momentum early as Bridgewater continues to work. Not much going so far. Passes it around, tries to close into the field. This is Hammond now trying to get around a defender. He's going to have to go back to his back line, and Kowalski's going to have a kick, and this one could be bad early, but Kowalski's going to take back care of it. A little scary there early for the Eagles, but they're going to wrap that one up. Kowalski had a kick, went right off of a General, and it got a little scary. It got back behind Kowalski. Kowalski was able to track it down there. Now the ball's back on the offensive side for the Eagles. General's in control now. They're going to pass it around. Oh, good touch there. Just not hard enough. Heyman's going to kick it up. That's going to be redirected high in the air a couple more times. Ball's on the ground, and Campbell was pushed down. Referees say that's on the Generals. So that's how we're going to get started here today. That's the opening minute. Couple back and forth play. Look at some stats. Bridgewater's going into today's game averaging 1.8 goals a game. Take that back. That's going to be 2.2 goals a game. Washington and Lee around there. They're at 1.9. So both teams average around 2 a game. As it's head around a couple times, and a whistle is going to be blown. So pretty 2 even offensive squads here today, averaging just around 2 goals a game. Could go either way, shooting around the same amount of shots per game too. Bridgewater at 16, Washington and Lee at 15.3. The one statistical outlier, however, is the amount of goals given up per game. Bridgewater has given up 1.3 goals a game on average, while the Generals have just given up 0.6. Outstanding defense being displayed all season by the Generals, but now they're on offense looking, and that's going to be out of bounds quick. Back underway here from the out of bounds stoppage, as Will Joseph, the goalkeeper, will get involved early, get a touch, ball being redirected a couple times. Now a downfield shot. That's going to be in the direction of Buster Kulig. A little too far in front of him, though, and Bridgewater will be able to launch back downfield to stop that offensive push. Good touch there, and that ball will go to bounds. Bridgewater throw in now. being kicked around a couple of times. Looks to be in possession of the Generals as they work downfield. Bridgewater's going to dig their cleats into their back line. Downfield shot. Good pass there to Jenkins. Jenkins working around a defender. Good, decent look here. And that ball's going to go to bounds. They're going to give a corner kick to the Generals. Very important here to start off early for both squads. Both of these squads are averaging more corners per game than their opponents. Something to look forward to. Something has to give. Corner kick up and underway now for the Generals. Knocked around a couple of times and redirected back downfield and landing out of bounds to stop that corner kick. So good hold defensively by the Eagles. Generals will keep control. As they will look to throw it in, and they will. Ball is up. Redirected back towards the thrower. Kicked around a couple of times. No one yet. Head around a couple of times. Couple different headers. And that's going to be a whistle. And a change of possession. Bridgewater comes in at 11. Wins 3 losses and 2 ties. Very, very good season for the Eagles. And they still have a lot to play for the rest. Second most wins in program history. And knocked around a couple more times. So yes, a great historic season for the Eagles after being picked to finish 8th in the ODAC preseason poll. So outstanding, and again, so much more to play for the Eagles. Win today, lock up the 2nd seed, chance at the number 1 overall seed, and then you get into the playoffs. Same for Washington and Lee, still a lot to play for. They're 8-3-5, a lot of ties this year. They've played some quality opponents, tying against Catholic, who were ranked at the time, tying against Hampton-Sydney, ranked, beating Virginia Wesleyan when they were ranked. Ball is going to be kicked up and caressed by Kowalski, and then they also tied Christopher Newport 0-0 when they were ranked. So they've played a tough schedule and currently sit at 8-3-5. Both squads are 6-1-1 in the conference, which is why this game is so important. Last game of the regular season, loser gets bumped down to 3rd in the conference, which, if everything plays out the way that the seeds would have it, would mean the number 3 seed would travel for the semifinal round, but that's a long way from now as this ball was knocked around a couple of times and will go out of bounds. Ball is up, Bridgewater's favor. Eugenio tracking with it now, moving towards the goal, kicks it around, follows it, and he will have that pass be a little errant. Good ball control there displayed by Bridgewater just for a second, and then it got away from him. Continuing on offense are the Eagles, just temporarily though. And the Generals are working up, moving downfield. Slide tackle there, disrupts the momentum, but the Generals still have offensive control. Whistle blown there, stoppage. Bridgewater's coming off of a ranked win at Hampton-Sydney on Saturday to keep them alive for the number 1 overall seed. Dropped a game to Virginia Wesleyan a week ago. Bounced back and beat Hampton-Sydney. It was Trey Widrick who scored the game-winning goal. Also, Widrick, ODAC Offensive Player of the Week honors. That's Bridgewater at least. Washington and Lee is coming off of a loss at Lynchburg on Saturday. Lynchburg currently sits at number 1 in the conference, and they take on Shenandoah tonight at 7 p.m. And if they are able to come out of that one with a victory, they will lock up the regular season championship and the number 1 overall seed for the ODAC tournament. This ball will be thrown in Bridgewater's offensive side. Knocked around a couple of times, now crossed. Got out of there by the Generals, now put up and crossed again. Queen was there, lost it, now he's tracking back to it. Queen's still tracking. He can cover some ground. He's a long strider, and he sure did disrupt that pass. That's Hammond kicking it around out there. That's Queen again. He's everywhere. No one able to gain any real momentum. And Kowalski will lock that one up. Kowalski's had a great year. True freshman out of North Carolina. They have to be excited about what they have in him for the next few years. This ball is kicked around the Generals' offensive side now. They have not had much going offensively. Most of the time, the ball's been spent down on Bridgewater's scoring end. The Generals did have a corner kick, and they spent a few minutes down here, but they did not really amount to anything. The corner wasn't of real quality, and not much ended up taking place. 0-0 is the score. About 10 minutes into this one, more like 9. This ball was up, redirected a couple of times. Now back on the ground. Jenkins is there. He passes it off. Queen tracking the ball. Hammond's there. And that ball kind of spun, a little bit of spinner there. Keeps it in play. Now moving upfield. Peterson moving. Launching. And off target. Headed up a couple of times. That's Campbell with it, and he will poke it up, and it will land out of bounds. Peterson will throw this one in. He will look over the head of Hammond. And Noah Deno will knock it on out of bounds. Throw-in coming now for the Generals as they try to work offensively. Ball's going to be thrown in. Knocked around a couple of times. The thrower will regain possession, and he will look and cross up. Headed in the direction of Ricardo Sanchez. Sanchez will pass it back out. Crossing again to the far side. This is Jenkins. Jenkins will try to work around a defender. Poked away. Regained control by Arrowwood. Launching up. And the ball's out of bounds. Goal kick now for Kowalski, and that momentum is halted at least for the moment. Kowalski will launch up and head it a couple of times off a couple eagles. Now looks like the Generals are going to have possession just temporarily. And now they're going to settle back in. And they're moving upfield now. Look out. Buster Kulig there passes it up. That's going to be a shot. Saved temporarily. Has to get back up. Kowalski unable to caress that one to completion. Going to have to get back up again. Redirected a couple of times. Ball's up there. And they're going to score. The Generals get on the board first. And they're going to draw first blood in this high-stakes game. Kowalski was unable to wrap up that first shot he faced and never really got his cleats set into position, and the Generals strike first. Buster Kulig is going to score that one, and that's someone that Bridgewater has to keep an eye on all game. He leads the team in goals at 6 and points in 12. Now 7 goals. 6 to 7 goals on the year. And now Bridgewater is going to have to come from a deficit early in this one. But certainly a lot of soccer left to play. Certainly not how Bridgewater, and look out again. The Generals moving upfield. They will be stopped. by the Eagles, and that's going to be a penalty on Bridgewater. Layden Mongold is going to be called for the foul on Sanchez. Free kick now coming for the Generals, who lead 1-0. Kick is up, crossed, redirected a couple of times. No one able to come away with it yet. Oh, big shot, big deflection by the Eagles. Who knows? That was kicked hard towards the goal, redirected almost immediately. Still fighting for it now are the Eagles. And it's important that they don't stray away from their game plan after falling down 1-0 in this one. Players get back into position. And the ball was put back in play. First touched by an Eagle. Queens there pursuing. He will slow down to a jog, try to get his positioning set. Risky pass up there, deflected by a General, now moving upfield. Good pass there. Jenkins moving upfield, tries to get around Hammond. Good footwork being displayed. Hammond quick to the edge, crosses it up. And it will be redirected a couple of times. Good save by Bridgewater from keeping it from going out of bounds. However, the ball will now come very close. No one yet. Queen would have flicked it out of bounds. He says it's Bridgewater's ball. And he will be correct. So Bridgewater in control of this one, this possession. They trail in the game as Hammond crops into one, launches it upfield, first touched by a General, and again, good touch there, displayed by Jenkins. Now upfield a couple of times, off target pass, and Bridgewater will control that one. Deno will be first to it. Eugenio tracking, good touch there. Working upfield now once again are the Eagles, trailing by 1. Oh, good move there to get his defender off of his feet. Now moving upfield again, and a good slide tackle there. They're going to say he was offsides. However, and the possession will go back the way of the Generals. Goal kick, free kick, that will be taken by the goalie, as he will direct traffic, as we're about 15 minutes into play. Launching downfield, good kick. No one able to come away with it quite yet. Now in the direction of Bridgewater. Knocked around a couple of times. Back the way of the Generals, off target pass, and Kowalski will come up and take care of this one. He will look to launch downfield. Bridgewater looking to build some momentum. Have not spent too much time on their scoring end in a little while now. Ball spent a lot of time at midfield. And, of course, the Generals were able to capitalize on their possession, which resulted in a 1-0 goal. This is Queen now with a good touch. Will look the way, and that's going to be offsides. He was certainly behind that defender. And that will be a turnover General ball. Ball is back in play, kicked around a couple of times by the Generals, not crossing midfield yet, now passing backwards to the back line. That back line has played so well all year, a big contributing factor into the average of 0.6 goals allowed per game. Bridgewater working now their back line, getting involved a little bit. This is Deno with a nice crafty pass to Queen. Queen now moving up towards the middle of the field. He will pass it off. Pass upfield again, knocked around a couple of times. A few slide tackles there, got some players down. One for each team. Campbell is up from Bridgewater, and there's a general down. That was Jenkins. Looks like everyone is all right. Bridgewater will throw in. This is Hammond. Woodrick now touch pass to Queen. Queen marked by 2 defenders, unable to get away from either of them. The Generals will take over. Now moving upfield. And the ball will go to bounds. Ball is now back in play. Controlled by the back line of the Generals. This is Trey Peterson in control of it now. Queen comes up to mark him. That ball is going to be touched out of bounds. Bridgewater's possession. Hammond will have another throw in. He'll give it to Queen in between 2 defenders. Oh, good play there. Queen now working with the ball. Had momentum there for a second. Passed it up, deflected immediately. And still working in the way of Bridgewater. Nope, whistle blown. And they're going to give the ball in the other direction. You can feel the tension out there in this high-stakes game that Washington and Lee leads early. Queen working with the ball now up the sideline. Good footwork being displayed. Nice little pass. Eugenio bounces up on the air on 1 foot and then will look back in the way of Queen, who's marked well. Good defense being displayed by the Generals here. Campbell will pass it up off the back of Queen. And they're going to give possession to Bridgewater. Hammond will look to throw this one in as Bridgewater inches closer towards the goal as they look to get something going now. Hammond will crow hop and throw it in. Deep throw, good throw. Headed up in front of the goal. Still in front of the goal. No one able to come away with this one yet. Now the Generals are going to knock it out of there. Good defense by the Generals. The ball was in front of the goal. Bounced a couple of times. Defense got it out of there. As that ball will go out of bounds. And Washington Lee will look to set up an offensive possession. Ball is now back in play, redirected a couple of times. Controlled by the Generals. This is Jenkins with it. Marked by Queen. Queen pressures a little bit, forces a short pass. Still going to be controlled now. Queen forces some pressure, and that's a turnover. Defense and now offense from Queen. Queen working with the ball. Touch passes it up. That's Woodrick out there. Nice touch away from the Generals. Eagles will remain on offense. The ball is now out of bounds. Ball's thrown in now. Instantly touched by a General. Right back out. Eagles still in possession. Crossing now. Oh, Queen was right there. That pass was just a little higher. Nonetheless, the Generals still will be moving upfield. This is Cabo with it. Passes it off to the far side of the field. Now moving upfield are the Generals up a goal. Looking to extend their lead. Marked well by the Eagles, though. Crucial to try to stop the Generals from going up. This is Jenkins now very dangerous with the ball. Oh, good move! As he will pass it off towards the middle. Lane might be open. Jenkins with it again. As he will bend a shot in. Marked well by Adeno. He will have to look back out. Oh, good pass moving upfield now. Cross in front of the goal. Oh, and just not there. Good soccer, good passing by Washington Lee, but not able to finish it off. And the lead will stay at 1-0. That sequence will result in a corner kick for the Generals, not able to capitalize on the first one. See what they're able to do on this one. Ball is up, decently placed, headed up, and lands on out of bounds. Another corner coming up. Corner kick now incoming for the Generals, their third of the game. Ball is going to be up, bending closer, and will be redirected out of there. Still up. Bridgewater still trying to take it back on offense. Touch pass up. Queen is in pursuit. He will touch it immediately once off the bounce. Heyman launches it up in the air. He's shaken up on the play. Free kick now, ball is up in play. Good kick. Over the head of a couple players on the far side of the field. Bridgewater still in control. Nope. Bounced back. Still in control are the Eagles. See if they will look to settle things down. Not much going yet. They're going to have to get it out of danger. Queen with it now, and he has a second to relax. Now he will poke it on up. To no real success. And the Generals will move it upfield once again. No one able to claim any real possession yet. Knocked around a couple of times. Now the Generals might have a chance here. They will look backwards and they will reset just for the time. Ball still being kicked around by the Generals. Good defense by Bridgewater, trying to get the ball back. Facing some pressure is the back line. Keeping the ball pretty short. This is Spencer Furman. Pass it off to Peterson. Slowly moving upfield now. Peterson coming up from the back line. Pressured by Queen, and Queen will force a pass back. Good frontline defense by the Eagles. Have not allowed the Generals to gain any real momentum on this possession. Now working upfield though, in between a couple of defenders. Queen inching closer. Pass across field. This is Jenkins working on Hammond. Hammond to the ground. Jenkins to the ground. Generals will keep control. All right, throw in now. Short of the goal, redirected a couple of times in front of the goal now. Shot's going to be wide. Rain starting to pick up down there. And you imagine, based on the forecast and the clouds up there, that the rain will hang around for the majority of the game. Picked up from a mist up there. Just a little bit. Now a corner will be up, and that will land behind the goal. Not too much going on that one. The corners have not been of real quality from the Generals. Maybe one, but the fact that they're getting them is quality in itself. We mentioned at the beginning of our broadcast here that both of these squads have more corner opportunities than their faced opponents in their games all season. Something had to give, and it's Washington and Lee that has dominated the corner stat in the early portions of the game. And now they're working on offense again. Moving upfield. Not much going on that one. They had a breakaway for a second. Kowalski was able to snatch it up before a General could pursue further. Now Kowalski will look to launch downfield. Makes about halfway there. Redirects off a couple of players. now launching up. This has been a matchup to watch all day, and now getting around. Oh, good move is Jenkins crossing. Oh, and better positioning by Deno. It's been a matchup to watch all day, as you can see that Matthew Jenkins is displaying some frustration, but Jenkins working against Hammond. Both have won against each other a couple of times. Something to keep an eye on all day on this near side of the field. Ball is in play now. This is Trey Peterson, who will launch up. Redirected a couple of times. Queen in pursuit. Goalie's way out of the box. Queen will call off. And Will Joseph will settle things on down in this high-paced first half. Not a lot of stoppages. Bounces off a couple of Eagles. Queen touched it last, passes it off to Widrick. And the Generals have done a decent job keeping Widrick in check. Widrick leads Bridgewater in goals, points, assists, and shots. He's all over the stat sheet for sure, but the Generals have done a pretty good job today in keeping him off of that sheet, but there's still a lot of ways to go. And there's that matchup again with Jenkins and Hammond. Two quality players working, and they're working against each other now. Pushing and shoving. Ball comes to a standstill. And, ooh, that got a little nasty right there. This is going to be something to keep an eye on all evening. This matchup between number 4 and 5 out there. Hammond got the better of him that time. Repays the favor from when Jenkins came out on top and bursted by him the possession before. This ball is going to be launched up in the air, some pushing and shoving down there again. You can really feel the tension down there and the high stakes that this one has. As Buster Kuig goes down, tears up some of the field with him. It's soggy out there, something to keep an eye on for sure. This ball was out of bounds. Fortunately for the grounds crew here, they have a few days off before Bridgewater would potentially host, or will be hosting, a game here on Saturday. Opponent and seed to be determined, but they do know they will be here on Saturdays. They're now working upfield, out of position. Queen a little frustrated out there, and Joseph will let it roll into the box, and he will pick it up and resume play. Ball's up and out of bounds. Awarded to the Generals with a quick throw-in. Looking to keep this forward momentum going. Now looking backwards. Good defense by Bridgewater. This game's been pretty even, you can tell. Ball spent a lot of time towards the middle of the field, and here's that matchup again. Jenkins working upfield. Touch pass up. And that's just going to be a little high. Corner kick now for the Generals as they put this one up. Decent positioning up a couple of times. Ball is still knocked around out there. Now it's gotten out there by Bridgewater. Back to the near side of the field. And redirected by David Bynum on out of bounds. Throw in now. This will be Kulig with it. Kulig with it again as he will attempt to cross. And not much going. Certainly past few minutes being controlled by the Generals. But as I was saying earlier, game feels pretty even. Ball spent a lot of time towards the middle of the field. I would say the Generals have had more offensive possessions than the Eagles. And then, of course, the outlier is the goal that they were able to capitalize on. Bridgewater's had no real quality looks as, we got a slippage there. Maybe the first sign of the wet field. Getting somebody on the ground. Queen's with it now, and he will look back. And that's Hammond there, barely getting the ball around his rival, who's now being pursued. And Jenkins is going to knock that ball away. Now Hammond's on the ground. So we're going to get a card, and Hammond is in pain. He's still on the ground. Trainers are going to come out onto the field, and we'll take a quick break. All right, we are back. Aaron Hammond was helped off the field. Taking his place temporarily is Ethan Locklear, junior out of Baltimore. And a free kick now incoming for the Eagles as they trail 1-0, 13-35. Remains in the opening half. 1-0 is the score. And a free kick coming up for the Eagles. As this ball will be up. Curved a little bit. No one able to really have any quality. And now another whistle. I think they're going to get the Generals for a foul on that one. Maybe like a holding call per se. And the Eagles will have a decent look here. Decent look here now coming up for the Eagles. Are they going to be able to take advantage of this free kick fairly close to the goal? Eugenio will take it. He will step up, kick it, and that one will be just scooped up. Good, decent look by Eugenio. Will Joseph scoops it up, and that's pretty much Bridgewater's first quality look at a goal of the game. That came close, and Joseph was not able to come up with it immediately, but able to recollect once the ball was put back on the ground. But nonetheless, the Generals will hold. Now Queen back with the ball, dances around a defender, working upfield, looking for a target to look and pass to, and he will. Risky pass, however, was taken back over. But Queen still in pursuit. Players hitting the deck, and again. And Queen still working upfield, and that pass is going to be well placed as Dunbar is able to come away with that one. Pokes it up, crosses to Queen. And Witchick was just a step behind. Queen's still in pursuit, and he will look to settle things on back down. Working upfield, that's Eugenio, who could not quite control that one. Still in pursuit, disrupting a little bit. And Bridgewater will try to prevent the clear, and they will. Now moving upfield, Steno, who will poke it off to Queen, not able to come away with that one. Now Deno's going to have to hustle back. And look out. Deno is able to disrupt that, comes up out of position just a little bit, and he will look to launch downfield. And Denna will hustle back to his position. He knew that was just buying some time. Now moving back upfield. That's Kaba. Kaba looks to the outside of the field, knocked up by an Eagle. But the Generals will control this possession and hold off the Eagles. Eagles got close. Probably their best offensive possession of the game with that free kick shot from Eugenio. Didn't get it to go, but they've kept it down there and are still running, trying to get the goalie sleeping, and that pass is going to be out wide. Or the shot is going to be out wide. Ball's now back in play. Let's Locklear with it. We're going to have to see how Locklear does against Matthew Jenkins. This ball was knocked on out of bounds. But that's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on with the absence of Hammond. Hammond was doing fairly well against the dynamic Matthew Jenkins. See how Ethan Locklear does. He's going to be the one to throw this one in, and he will look, throw in kind of double coverage, if you will. Knocked up a couple of times and poked out of bounds by the Generals. Bridgewater will inch ever closer, as we're now under 10 minutes to go in the opening half. Only real stoppage, pretty quick half, was the Hammond injury.
29 for 21.
Throw in now coming, and he will toss it in. Redirected a couple of times. Still being redirected and fought for. Locklear temporarily fell down, and he got back up. Now they're going to have to settle back in defensively, slowing it down and pursuing as Locklear not quite there in time. Maybe did disrupt it a little bit. Kind of a shaky pass. Being knocked back up, and Kowalski will come on up, and he will choose to kick this one instead of settling things back down. Locklear with a quick pass off to Dunbar. Dunbar pushed a little bit. Good pass. Widrick now Queen. Look at Queen moving up the field. Won't matter. Deflected by a General, as that pass might have been intended for him. We'll never know. Now pushed back up. Dunbar's in the area working against his defender. In Peterson. Looks backwards. Locklear with it now. Widrick maybe directing some traffic, and he's going to settle things down. Tries to get down in front. Oh, good move there. Now we'll look up, cross towards the middle. Queen now at the top, and he will be pushed off of his mark, and we'll have to look behind him for some assistance. Now working back around and upfield are the Eagles. They're going to choose to go to the far side, and then Bynum. Bynum's now going to crank it up, and he will go towards the middle, cross towards the middle. No one really able to get anything going there, and the Generals will look to get this cleared and try to build some offensive momentum. It's certainly been Eagle controlled for the past few minutes. No goals able to score one quality shot. Now moving upfield are the Generals and getting it out of there. As an Eagle hit the deck down there on the far side of the field. Widrick is begging for a call. I don't think he's going to get it. Throw in now coming. Crow hops into it, launches. Pretty good throw, bounce around a couple of times. Bridgewater should be able to take care of this one, at least get it upfield. They will. But the Generals are there to settle things back down. This is going to be Peterson with it now, marked by Queen. Locklear comes up. This is Cabo with it. See, we'll pass it off short. Now passing back up. And looking to clear now is Bridgewater, unable to do so on that attempt. Now working back upfield are the Generals. Errant pass and collected up by Kowalski. Kick is up from Kowalski, instantly redirected. And knocked back up a couple more times. Ball's around the middle of the field. Still being fought for. Campbell with it now, trying to get around a defender, working with his left foot. He does get around his defender, loses control of the ball, and picks it right back up. Well, that was a good move. And now will have his pass intercepted, and the Generals will look to get things back going offensively. Good pass up there. Locklear is in the area, whiffs on that one, collects it back, and he will look back the way of Kowalski, who's going to have to come up to it a little bit. Won't be able to collect that one. He'll have to punt it on up. And that ball will go out of bounds off of Peterson. And Dunbar will throw this one in. Looking for some help, goes towards the middle. Working now, not really much going. Hits the deck a couple of times. And Canale is into the game now. Freshman out of Manassas will hit the deck and be awarded with a free kick for his squad. Kick is going to be up, crossing, headed. Nothing really going yet in front of the goal now. And knocked out of there, so that was another quality offensive opportunity for the Eagles, unable to take advantage of. They've had a few more recently than the Generals have, but the Generals still have that 1-0 lead under 5 minutes remaining now in the opening half. Bridgewater backline in control of it. Got a little sloppy there, but they will keep control. Dunbar with it, he will pass it up, and that passes off target. And now Joseph will launch up, redirected a couple of times. That's Denna with the redirect. Bounces a couple of more times. No one able to come away with this one. Queen in pursuit. Quick pass off. Locklear with it, and he's going to be called for a foul. This ball is back in play as Bridgewater tries to get a stop, a clear, and a goal all before the end of the half. Under 4 minutes remaining now. They got the stop. See if they can get the clear. Unable to do so yet. Still working. They will not be able to get the clear as they're going to be called for the foul. Ball is now launched back up. Queen in pursuit. Now short pass off. Locklear in pursuit again. And that ball will go out of bounds. But Locklear is going to be called for the foul. As we have an injury, that's Isaac Arrowwood, freshman out of Durham. North Carolina is on the ground. About 3 minutes remaining in the opening half. Bridgewater is going to have to try to get another stop, but a free kick now incoming for the Generals. Short pass off, tries to maybe draw a diversion. Now a good bending pass up, but that's going to be on top of the goal. Seemed a little too close for comfort, perhaps. Maybe Kowalski had it all under control. Maybe not, we'll see. He will look to launch this one up. Keeps it pretty low, long drive off the face of a General and will go out of bounds. Dunbar will throw this one in. 2 minutes remaining. Correction, they're going to let Locklear toss this one in. So he hops into this one. He will look to Dunbar. And that ball is going to be poked out by Arrowwood, who's up from his injury. Queen now the target of that pass, and he will have a quick other pass up to Widrick. Widrick will maybe look to shoot. He probably did have that in mind. However, it was taken away from him. And now moving upfield, all the Generals marching downfield as Jenkins crossing. No one really there to help him out, and that could have been costly for the Eagles, but they were able to settle back in. Job's not finished yet, though, for both sides. Washington and Lee wants one more goal in the final 90 seconds. of the half. See if they will be able to get it. They certainly have the offensive momentum on this possession. We'll see if the Eagles are going to be able to get another stop or two. About 1 minute remaining. Throw in coming now. Ball will be tossed in, redirected a couple of times. Queen's going to be able to come away with this one. Still no one able to really come away with it now. The Generals will perhaps get another shot up of quality. They might have had a look there, some frustration being displayed. And the Eagles are going to look to just get this one out of here. 30 seconds remaining, see what they like to do in that amount of time. Kowalski will kick it. Head it up a couple of times, 20 seconds now. Got to imagine Bridgewater will be content with just not letting one more goal be scored. As they're at 10 seconds now, no real urgency being displayed out there. And they're going to let this one run out. So 1-0 will be the score heading into halftime. The Generals scoring fairly early on in this one. Buster Kulig has recorded the game's only goal. Alrighty, we'll be back 15 minutes for the second half of this high-stakes ODAC regular season finale. Welcome back to Bridgewater Soccer Complex, where the Generals of Washington and Lee lead the hosting Bridgewater College Eagles 1-0. It was Buster Kulig who was able to get the ball in the back of the net early on in the first half, which resulted in the game's only goal in this huge high-stakes ODAC regular season finale. Winner locks up the 2 seed at worst, which would mean if they take care of business in their respective opening round games, that the semifinal would be at the spot of the number 2 seed. And then, of course, the big factor would be if Lynchburg were to slip up to Shenandoah tonight, then the winner of this game would be the number 1 overall seed and win an ODAC regular season title. But there's 45 minutes left in this one. It's certainly not over. Bridgewater picked up some offensive momentum as the game went on into the end of the first half. We'll see if they're able to continue that momentum coming out of halftime, or if the Generals will be able to slip back into control. We will see. Going the other way now. The Generals will have the opening possession of the second half, and we are underway here for the second half. 1-0 is the score. Generals pushing upfield early, taking a shot, and that one will go out of bounds. Ball still being worked around, and out of bounds again on that far side. Ball's now back in play just for a second. Out of bounds again, and they're going to give possession to Bridgewater. This ball will be up, put in play by Bridgewater off of the head. Lane was open there for a second. Still might be. Shot up and quickly saved. Quick shot. So maybe that offensive momentum that they had at the end of the first half will continue. That was a quick shot. That was a good heads-up play by Will Joseph to stay in front of that one. See what they're able to do going forward. Ball still being fought for. No one able to really claim it yet. Waiting to go out of bounds. Somehow it didn't go out of bounds. And still working ahead. This is Widrick now with the quick touch pass to Queen that was deflected. Now launching downfield is Mongold. And that pass was off target. And now will be collected by the Generals, who will set up for their downfield push. Keeping the ball on the ground, pushing upfield. And taken away by the Eagles. And knocked out of bounds. Ball was back in play. Being fought for, no one really able to come away with it yet. Bridgewater in possession temporarily, now back out to Bynum. Bynum will have to look behind him for some assistance, now passing back up. Bynum with again working up the sideline. He will look to cross, keeps it on the ground, keeps it low. Bridgewater still in control. That's Widrick with a now good pass up there. Maybe a shot deflected quickly. And now working back upfield, all the Generals moving upfield, wasting no time. This is Jenkins with it now. Now we'll look behind him, trying to work around a defender, drawing another defender, and knocked out of bounds. You can feel the urgency down there. There's still a lot of time left, but these players are certainly going at high pace, as they know the importance of this one, the importance of hosting the semifinal game. If Lynchburg is on, if Lynchburg will continue their winning ways and lock up a win tonight, the importance of this game and hosting a semifinal game cannot be understated. You can definitely tell out there that both of these squads certainly want it. Free kick now and coming for the Generals, fairly far away. Bridgewater should be able to lock this one down, at least at first. We will see. Good ball. Knocked around a couple of times, and it will be locked down at least temporarily. No one yet. Ball's kind of sitting out there. Now we're going to get a whistle, and Bridgewater will have no problem. Quickly moving upfield now, launching. Kind of off target a little bit. Moving upfield now and knocked out of bounds by Bynum. Waiting to toss it on in. And now it will be. Now looking back behind, Widrick in pursuit. Ball barely got around him, still pursuing. And now they will look back the way of Joseph. He will keep the ball on the ground. Kind of a short, maybe touch pass a little bit and redirected back out of bounds. Tossed in again. Fields holding up decently well out there. Still a little miss, it looks like, but not a whole lot. Kowalski will look to launch this one. And he will do just that. Makes it across the midfield mark. Bounces high in the air. Still high. High again. Headed a couple of times. Big contact. Unable to come away with it. Now Bridgewater working upfield. Pass. Trying to carve through the defense. And momentum stopped. Good defense there by the Generals, who have done very well defensively so far this season, allowing just 0.6 goals a game. Mentioned that a couple of times. Then their last few games, they lost to Lynchburg, nationally ranked. They gave up 2 goals. Before that, they had 2 shutouts, and they gave up 1 goal, another shutout, and then another one. So they've done very, very well playing efficient defense. And Bridgewater is going to have to look to break that defense up at least one time if they want to come out of here without a loss. Ball's in play now. No one able to come away with it, at least temporarily. Now working at field is Bridgewater. Good move. Now upfield again. Passing off. Recollecting his own pass. Still moving upfield. Passes it up. Now shot attempt will go. And that one will be wide. That was Lobo. Good momentum. All right, so first corner of the match now for the Eagles. Could this be the momentum that they need? Passes up in front of the goal. Knocked around a couple of times. Oh, it was right there. The ball was sitting in front of the goal just for a split second. Bridgewater is knocking on the door of a score. They have plenty of time left, but they're going to need to capitalize before the Generals' defense settles on back in. It's been a little wobbly since they've taken the lead. But it is stood up for now, at least. Now thrown in again. Headed up in the direction of the goal. Redirected again. Bynum will save it from going out of bounds. Crossing up towards the goal. Redirected back out. Generals will pass it up to that Bridgewater back line, who will have a big kick up. Campbell with it now, trying to cross with the left foot. And the Generals in fair control, looking up field. Now Bridgewater in control once again. Look out, moving upfield now. Oh, good defense. Queen right there in the good position. It was right there for him and had it poked away. Bridgewater's begging to get a goal. They've been so close. But now moving upfield are the Generals marching downfield. And that ball got away from him. Some good defense. Both of these squads have been able to display a decent amount of fast-paced offensive momentum, but the back lines and the defensemen have really shut it down. Maybe look here. This is Widrick in line with the defense now as he looks to settle things down, and he looks up by the goal. Gets around 2 defenders. Passes it off. Pass was just off target. Man, they've been so close. Coming up now is Campbell as he tries to get around a couple of defenders. Works with the left foot. Bynum with it now. He will settle things down. Keeps it low on the ground. Queen on the far side. Pass intercepted and deflected. And that's going to be a whistle. Bridgewater awfully close, but still a ton of time is remaining. A few people taking some time to tie their shoes out there as we have an injury. Not sure who that is. Could be Jenkins. Don't want to make any assumptions. That's what we're... All right, and we're going to take a quick break. Welcome back here. That was, in fact, Matthew Jenkins, who was injured and was taken out of the game. So that's both Hammond and Jenkins in that fierce battle of earlier in the first half that are now both no longer in the game. See how both teams are going to navigate through that. But nonetheless, Washington Lee keeps their lead. They faced a fury of offensive attack from Bridgewater in the second half here, but have done well defending it. Now taking the ball temporarily, where the Eagles, now the Generals still back in control. Now redirected a couple of times, drawn by a couple of defenders, and that's going to be a whistle in favor of Bridgewater. Now launching upfield once again. First touched by a General, redirected by another General. Now an Eagle will get a hit on it. Ball's been touched 4 times before it bounces on the ground. Now it's finally on the ground. Sliding tackle in, and that's going to be called as a foul. Pleading his case out there is Eugenio. I don't think the ref's going to go for it, though. That was Sammy Seif. That was Seifa, correction. That was fouled on that one. Free kick now upcoming. And launching up towards the goal, redirected a couple of times as we're going to get a whistle. Kowalski will look to launch this one upfield. Makes it about halfway up. Knocked around a couple of times. No one able to come away with this one yet. Now it's going to land out of bounds, and Bridgewater will be awarded control. Thrown in now by Bynum. Knocked around a couple of times, a few more. And upfield, and the ball's going to roll on out of bounds. Tossing it in once again and redirecting up and landing out of bounds. Thrown in once again. And out of bounds. This time it's going to be Bridgewater, and Washington and Lee will have possession, see what they're able to do. It seems like they've been on defense for the majority of this second half. See if they can get something going offensively to stretch their lead. We will see. First part is the throw in, redirected back. Now pass back, not able to be pushed up yet. Woodrick pursuing. Joseph coming out of position there, but he will get it off in time. Deflected by Deno coming up. And that's going to be a foul on Arrowwood. And now moving upfield. They're going to say he went early. He saw Queen breaking, thought he might have had a chance to catch the Generals sleeping. Referees put an end to that. This ball will be up. Free kick by Bridgewater. Still on the ground, still controlled by the Eagles. Eugenio's down there. He will lose control. And now the Generals will launch back up to no real avail. In the back line of Bridgewater will be in control. Bynum retreating on the near side. They won't look for him. If they look on the far side, no one's there. And now the Generals will move upfield. Redirected out of bounds.
Washington and Lee.
Look down there on the sideline. You will see Matthew Jenkins ready to come back into the game following an injury a few minutes ago. Free kick now incoming for the Eagles. Ball will be launched up, tracking towards the goal, and Joseph's going to come up and take care of that one before the Eagles can get a body on it. Bynum now pursuing. This is Sanchez now working with the ball. Fancy footwork being displayed on a good pass up to Arrowwood. Arrowwood will pass back, and now launching upfield, and first touch, good play by an Eagle down there on the far side, but the Generals will keep control. Queen will take it away, and he's dashing in between defenders, still fighting them off. Worked off 4 defenders who gave a pass off. And now that pass is going to be a little off target, and the Eagles will turn it over. Now moving upfield once again are the Generals. Campbell's there to draw a mark. Now Bynum will take it away, keeping it in control. Oh, good move there by Canales. The Generals will take back possession, though, as Queen pursues, try to disrupt their offensive momentum. But now they will pass it up, and look out. Generals working up the field, slowing things down, now passing off short. Now working at field, good deflection by the Eagles. But the ball will remain on this side of the field as we're under 30 minutes remaining in the match. Bridgewater in need of a goal, but they got to get this ball stopped and cleared before they can think about scoring again. So there he is, Matthew Jenkins back into the match, dynamic player. Throw in now, ball's bounced around out in front of the goal. Launched away in the air, bounces. Queen tries to high point it, unable to do so. Now crossing, out in front of the goal. Oh, good defense there. That ball was sitting there. That was a good opportunity for the Generals. Good defense by the Eagles to keep things at 1-0 for now. Generals still in possession, still working. Pass cross field. Now working upfield again are the Generals. And the ball will go out of bounds. I mean, the ball was sitting there. Kowalski just out of position, and it was knocked out of there by a couple of different Eagles. Not sure who actually got the foot on it, but there was a group around that area that knocked the ball out. Now, Widrick working upfield, dynamic player, passes it off. Looking for a cross drawn by a couple of defenders is Eugenio. And he's unable to really do much with that as he was trapped in that corner. Ball is now back in play. Generals in control. Almost had it taken away from him by Campbell. Ball's back toward Joseph.
7 for 25.
Ball was way up in the air. No real momentum yet. Generals closer. That's going to be a penalty. All right, here we are. Near side of the field. Generals working upfield. Draws a couple of defenders. That's Willie Hall getting in the action. Hall leads the Generals in assists so far this year at 4. Definitely sees the field very, very well. Been fairly uninvolved today, but the majority of the second half has been controlled offensively by the Eagles. They've had a couple of decent looks, but unable to get anything going. But I would say the past few minutes have been fairly well controlled offensively by the Generals. Bridgewater looking to break up that momentum. They are in need of a goal. No doubt about that. Passing it up now, and Lobo was not quite in position for that. Doesn't matter, though. Oh, good pass there. Queen working upfield, tries to get around the goalie. Still has a shot, bending towards the goal, and just high. Queen ripped a shot, and it was just high. He had a wide open lane. He had the goalie out of position. We have a player down. He's going to get up on his own power. Calls the trainers off. But, man, how about that look for Riley Queen? He executed that to almost perfection. Just couldn't finish. So the score remains 1-0, and it's been that way for the majority of the second half. That was probably the best look that they've had. But they've had a couple decent looks in the second half, just not able to get that one too far. That was a very good look. Very good soccer displayed by Queen. Just couldn't get it finished off. Now, it was far away, that's for sure. And so General hits the deck, and the ball goes back to them. But, man, Queen would love to have that one back, and he knew it too. Devastated as soon as he saw the ball just go right above the crossbar. But they're going to have to regroup. They got 25 more minutes to battle and try to draw it back even. They've definitely been putting extensive amounts of pressure on that Washington and Lee defense as we have some subs now. Arrowwood going off. And Lobo going off as well. Cole Dunbar steps back in to replace him. Ball is going to be thrown back in. Bridgewater still in control. Widrick with it now. Dances around a few defenders. Was surrounded by 4. Got the ball around 3. But Bridgewater will win control right back as they now work around the back line, far side of the field. Touch pass off. Bridgewater will still be in control, in need of a goal. Launching upfield to Queen. will be pushed off, and that ball will go out of bounds. Ball's now back in play, launching upfield. Goalie out of position a little bit. Gonna have to get it out of there. And not exactly sure what happened. They're gonna give Washington Lee the goal. That's gonna be 2-0. They're gonna stretch their lead. Still not exactly sure what took place. The ball got around Kowalski and just kind of slipped in, rolled into the goal. No one was quite ready. And 2-0 is the goal. Wow, what a turn of events for the Eagles. They're going to give Ricardo Sanchez goal credit for that last goal, and I'm still not sure exactly what took place, but what a turn of events here in Bridgewater. Wow, I mean, that's 2-0. Bridgewater had a great look to make it 1-1 2 minutes before that took place, and you can just tell they're kind of deflated out there, still playing hard, but now they gotta keep pressing, down 2-0. This is Dunbar with it, trying to change this game in a hurry, and he won't be able to beat his defender around. And the Generals are going to take back over. But, wow, that's incredible. That's almost borderline unbelievable what took place down there. Especially considering what happened on the other end just right before that. Queen just missing high on a pretty wide open lane. Could have been 1-1, but now you look at it and it's 2-0 all of a sudden. Queen now with it, and he will cross it up. And now the Generals working, under 22 minutes remaining. And after all that offensive pressure being applied, the Generals were able to get a sneaky one after not having too much offensive success. At any point, I mean, I think they might have had one good look earlier, but that was unbelievable. But Bridgewater's going to have to erase that from their memory in a hurry if they want to get back into this one. 2-goal deficit, 20 minutes to go against a defense like Washington and Lee. That's a tough task. That's for sure. Bridgewater can do it. They have the offensive firepower for sure, and they've came awfully close in the second half. I mean, look at Queen and some others. But 2 goals in 20 minutes, tough task. Ball is in play now, 20 minutes remaining. Knocked back to about midfield. Washington and Lee finds themselves up 2-0. They would love to get one more to really expand their lead, and they certainly are going to keep the offensive pressure going. Decent look here, and that ball is going to be out and wide. Ball is now back up and in play. Oh, a couple big redirects there. Bridgewater in control temporarily, but they got to maybe start hurrying I'm sure Coach Benison has done a great job this year, has his team prepared for moments like this, but it's hard to not try to push, but they're pushing right now, and quickly will be kicked on out of bounds. Throw in now coming up towards the goal, redirected out in front of the goal. Bridgewater still in possession. Campbell up. Good little shot in a tight window, but even better concentration by Will Joseph to collect the ball. And save a goal. His team's still leading 2-0. Bridgewater and Washington Lee. This game, of course, is the only ODAC game in action right now. The rest begin at 7 p.m. or later. Matchups around the ODAC this evening include Averett at Eastern Mennonite, Randolph-Macon at Hampton-Sydney, Guilford at Roanoke, Shenandoah at Lynchburg, which, of course, matters greatly to the winner of our matchup here today. Final 18 minutes coming up, and that ball is headed towards the stands and redirects back in bounds. Player hit the dirt, and then our final ODAC matchup is Randolph College at Virginia Wesleyan, and then we're going to get into playoffs. The seedings, of course, will come out, as probably as early as the conclusion of the games tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, whenever the ODAC wants to officially publish their postseason bracket. With the first round of the ODAC tournament beginning this Saturday, so in a few days. Higher seed hosting, of course. And as I was saying, both of these squads will host. Who and what seed they are is to be determined as we're winding down here for sure. And, ooh, big shot there. And Bridgewater is in need of a couple goals if they want to stay alive for the 2 seed and, of course, the 1 seed as well. Ball's now up, back in play, knocked around a couple of times. It's getting dark out here. Sunsets this time of year around 6:19 is the official sunset tonight. Just past 5:30 here, so it's getting dark, plus the cloud cover will probably make it seem like sunsets will be before 6:19, but we will see maybe closer to 6 than 7. But we will end up not having to worry about that. The game should finish before the sun fully sets, but you can definitely tell it's getting dark out there as now Dunbar's breaking away. A couple of hard passes redirected, still in control, and that ball is out of bounds. And now back in bounds, Bridgewater back in control. And with every minute that ticks away, Bridgewater finds themselves in more of a hurry, down 2 goals. That last one, again, a crazy couple minutes down there. Riley Queen, dynamic player, just missed. He did terrific acts of soccer to achieve a pretty open lane and just missed it. Now the shot was from a decently far away, not able to connect on that one. Just a few minutes after, I'm still not overly sure what took place, but somehow the ball got behind Zane Kowalski and kind of just trickled in to the goal. And it was Ricardo Sanchez who was awarded that one. So that's how we got to 2-0. Bridgewater was knocking on the door for the majority of the second half, seemingly getting closer and closer with every quality look, and then all of a sudden, Washington and Lee was able to stretch their lead up to 2-0 as Under 15 minutes now. Bridgewater's in need of one goal to get things back on track, and then they can really start pressing. But they are in great need of a goal here. Decent look here with a free kick. As the ball is up and will be collected by Joseph. Up again will be controlled by Bridgewater. Short pass will be intercepted. And now working back offensively are the Generals. And pushed down. Called for the foul is Bridgewater. Layton Mongold, freshman out of Broadway, Virginia local, will be called for the foul. Free kick now, fairly close to the goal incoming. Ball is up, almost acts like a corner kick, maybe a little closer. Nonetheless, Bridgewater takes care of this. Bridgewater's still back on defense. Still on defense, unable to get a clear. Couple of defenders come to the ball, still not able to come away with it. Still on offense are the Generals. Now crossing towards the goal and collected by Kowalski. And about 12 minutes ago, you would think Bridgewater is in a hurry. They need 2 goals and they need them quick, especially against a defense like Washington and Lee. So that is going to be tough. Ball will be up and back in play. Ball will be thrown in and back in out of bounds. Kowalski comes up to collect that one. And another stoppage. Not much going past a few minutes for either squad. Under 12 minutes to go. Ball's back in play off of Bridgewater, immediately touched by a General. And the ball will go out of bounds. Generals likely content with just letting that time tick, 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 tick away. They will likely slow roll this back in play. So we approach 10 minutes remaining. Ball still being fought for on the near side here around midfield. Players hitting the deck. Ooh, a big shot there off of Jaden Buckles into the game. for the Eagles. Now working on offense are the Generals. About 10 minutes remaining. Bridgewater running out of time. Certainly not over yet. But time is certainly a factor and not on the side of Bridgewater. The Generals want to see these last 10 minutes go away without any issue and lock up at least the 2 seed. And they will certainly be tuned in to the Lynchburg game, which kicks off at 7. Bridgewater.
If Lynchburg loses and WNL wins this,
Quarter 11 for 3.
However, that will certainly be tough, and Lynchburg might actually be, due to their win against Washington and Lee over the weekend, they will likely lock up that 1 seed and the regular season championship. Even if they do lose, they will have the tiebreaker over Washington and Lee. It was if Bridgewater, and they still could, if they were to win, then Lynchburg would also have to win. But when you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. So that's certainly the number 1 goal of most of these ODAC programs is to get in the postseason, and then you can go from there. Bridgewater will be watching that Hampton-Sydney game tonight as well. So a lot of happenings in the ODAC. This certainly one of the most pivotal going into today, and it was set first, so the other teams can kind of gauge what their postseason seeding might look like based on this one today. This will certainly help solidify some things at the top of the conference. It won't certainly set anything in stone besides the top 2 seeds. The rest would be still being fought for, with ODAC postseason tournament kicking off on Saturday around the state. Ball's now back in play, and again, I'm sure the Generals will be content with just letting this one run out. Anything they can do to make that happen. If that involves scoring another goal to really put this one on ice, I'm sure they will do so. If that just involves settling back in on defense, I'm sure they will happily do so as well. Bridgewater needs to start forcing the issue here. 8.5 minutes, 2 goals, not a ton of time, and they have not had many quality offensive possessions since Queen's goal that just missed. Now working at field and almost scoring. Oh boy, that was close. Where the Generals' goal score will remain at 2-0. And Bridgewater needs to get this ball cleared successfully and turn it into a quality offensive possession. They haven't had a really good shot attempt, and they won't even be able to clear that one. So the Generals still working upfield. Stop, but no quality offensive possession since Queen's short, or close miss, rather, a while ago. Ball now will be launched up and will land up out of bounds. Corner kick now incoming for the Generals. Ball is up a little deep, and that's going to be blown dead. Queen in pursuit of the ball now, which is back in play. He will settle things down a little bit and poked out of bounds. That's what I was talking about. The Generals content with just letting this clock run on down, stalling, maybe playing a little annoying to Bridgewater. Another stoppage now. As time continues to tick away. 6.5 minutes remaining now. 2 goals still needed. Free kick now. Coming for the Eagles. This ball is up. Decently placed. Coming up and deflecting was Joseph. and now retreating back into the goal. Might have had a deep shot there. Good pressure by Jenkins to force that disruption, and that ball will now land out of bounds. Jenkins has played very well today. Has not gotten on the scoreboard as a midfielder, but has played a quality game of soccer as we're now under 6 minutes remaining. Ball will be up. Knocked around a couple of times. Bridgewater appears to be in control. Passing it up and hard out of bounds. Under 5.5 minutes to go now. Bridgewater needing to hurry with every second that ticks on away. As Whitrick will cross up. Nobody's there. Queen will be in position. And it's deflected away. Queen kind of had to settle back in. No one was there at first. Queen had to make up for it. Queen hits the deck. General hits the deck. Not sure who that was. Pass is up. Back in play now on the offensive side. Preferred side, of course. For the Generals, they do have an insurance goal that they can afford to give up. But they would rather not to. Ball still being knocked around down there. Approaching the 4-minute mark. Remaining in this one with a free kick coming for the Generals. They're in a great position, that's for sure, to finish this one up and lock up that 2 seed. If they hold on for the next 4 minutes, that will put their overall ODAC record at 7-1-1. So trying to figure some things out down there on the far side of the field. This ball's now back in play, crossing towards the goal. Knocked up, and will roll on out of bounds. You can see the urgency out there displayed by Bridgewater. Certainly in need of a couple of goals and not a lot of time. Ball will be launched up. First touched by a General, then booted downfield. No one's quite there. Joseph's going to come on out, knock it back up. General's looking to just kill some more time. Perfectly content with doing so. 3:30 left in this one. The Eagles looking for anything they can get going. Again, they've been hard up offensively since Queen's near miss. Not had a ton of good looks since. Good touch pass there. Almost went out of bounds, but did not. Bridgewater will control it now. Couple short passes. Whitrick worked around a defender. Couple of good moves by Whitrick. His ball control is elite. Fighting for now and out of bounds. Bridgewater working on the far side of the field. Cross up. Deflected. Whitrick again. And not able to get anything going in that one. Pretty close effort, but not enough. Still down by 2, approaching the 2-minute mark. Ball is now back in play. Bridgewater settling back in on defenses. 2 minutes remain. 2 goals in 2 minutes is the goal for Bridgewater. Very unlikely, certainly not impossible. They're going to need to get something going in a hurry. Launching downfield. Nobody's home. Joseph trying to sit on the ball a little bit, understandably so. Retreats back to the far side, has taken off 20 seconds, doing his job. And he will launch upfield, 1:30 left. Ball's still bouncing around. Generals applying some pressure, approaching the 1 minute mark. Now working upfield, last ditch effort. Decent look coming up for the Eagles. Shot blocked. And that was probably the last ditch effort. 60 seconds remain. Decently open lane there. As Woodruck had a shot attempt, but not much going. Launching upfield once again. Might be too far in front. Offsides is going to be the call. 30 seconds remaining. And this one is likely all but over, as Joseph will do his best to stall. And this will likely be it. It's with 15 seconds now, and this game will end 2-0. We'll let the seeding play out how it will. We will know at the end of the games tonight how the postseason seedings will stand for the ODAC. We do know both of these squads will be in and will be hosting tournaments. This Queen's going to put a shot up, and this will do it. Final score here, Generals 2, Eagles nothing. Washington Elite comes on the road and gets a huge conference win in the regular season finale.
Up next, women's volleyball is playing in Niger June against CAG.
Some final stats,
Starting at 6 o'clock.
and that will be it. Buster Kulig and Ricardo Sanchez both got 1 goal.
At 7 on Johnson. Thank
Riley
you,
Queen
and
was
please get to your
the
next
game's
destination,
shot
women's
leader.
assembly.
2 yellow cards for the Generals, and Ricardo Sanchez had 2 shots on goal. Team stats. Bridgewater took more shots than the Generals. They controlled the offensive momentum for most of the second half up until that crazy sneaky goal by Ricardo Sanchez. Looking back to what we talked about at the beginning of the game, Bridgewater had averaged 16 shots per game. They had 12. The Generals had 9 compared to the 15 that they average, but they were able to connect on 2 of them. Washington Lee had 5 saves. Bridgewater had 2. That's all we have for you today. Bridgewater Volleyball and Bridgewater Field Hockey coming up at 6 and 7, respectively. All right, I'm Tate Mills. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great rest of your evening.